Good afternoon, my beloved friends. I am most delighted to be with you again and to share some thoughts, some important thoughts with you. You have now crossed your toes across the threshold into the age that was so much predicted by so many people. You are stepping into the turbulent times, the times of wars, the times of earthquakes and earth changes. And so my message today is to help you deal with these turbulent times. My last message to you was one that could be conceived as being a bit difficult to understand because it was complex. And in this way, this message is also complex, but yet it's simple. So let me proceed in explaining to you how I advise you to go through the times and days that are ahead. As was stated in the consciousness gathering recording that you just heard, you claimed your divine crystalline energy, your God power. You claimed it. And that's very important because if you claim it and you are it, it will get you through the turbulent times. It is so easy, it is so human to want to know what's going to happen next, what is happening in other parts of the world, turning to your news and getting very absorbed in it, of what is happening, the ups and downs, the ins and outs. And that is important, but you need to do it in a way that does not affect your emotions. If you allow yourself to emotionally get attached into that energy and be pulled into the fear, you will not be able to claim your divine crystalline energy. You have to kind of be able to know what's going on, but not affect your emotions, affect your energy. We need you to be bright lights into the world. We need you to live your life in your divine crystalline energy and bring light into the world. There's so much darkness in it now that you need to counterbalance it. And that is the important message that I'm trying to explain to you. Think of it this way. I am sure many of you have gone to see a movie in the movie theaters and have gone to the IMAX where the screen is gigantic and you can get so wrapped up into what the movie is about because of the largeness of the screen. When you get that wrapped up, your emotions are being engaged in that information. It is merging with that information, and that will affect your own energy. Now, watching a movie, that does not matter. But if you're thinking about watching the news on an IMAX screen, that will affect your energy. I want you to watch the news, not on an IMAX screen. But on a screen the size of those smart little watches, those little tiny screens, because that will not have as the effect that on you as the IMAX screen does. When the point I'm trying to make to you is you need to guard your emotions and your emotional energy through the turbulent times. Yes, you need to know what is happening. I'm not saying to put blindfold on and not know what's going on, for that is also a mistake. But you need to be able to, and you need to be conscious and need to set the intent that you can watch what's happening in the news, but not have it affect you emotionally, not have it affect you, not have you and be induced or overcome by fear. Because as we've said before, fear is the counterbalance. You cannot be in a positive state of mind if you're fearful. You have to expel all that fear. So what I am saying to you is when you are engaged in what's happening in the world, engaged with it with the knowingness that you are protecting your energy and you're not allowing you to allow any fear from what's happening to come into your energy field. If you need to, you can visualize your divine crystalline energy as a sphere and coat it with a mirror so that anything that tries to come in will be reflected out and bounced out, and therefore the fear cannot get in. That's one technique to use to protect your energy. So, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that know what's happening in the world, but don't allow yourself to be absorbed in the fear of it because many, many turbulent things are going to happen starting now. It's not going to be positive. And for you to wring your hands and get upset and cry and beat your chest and worry about it is not helpful at all for you. You need to use the consciousness gathering as your armor. Listen to it. Claim your divine energy. Feel the power of being in that energy. Feel the invincibility of being in that energy. And then when you view what's happening in the world, you can distance yourselves from the emotion and the fear that's being projected. Think about this, my friends. You know that we are in a tug of war between the dark forces and the light forces. The dark forces definitely want you to get absorbed in the fear of things because if you're in the fear of things, they can manipulate you much easier than if you're in your divine crystalline energy and not attached to that emotion at all. And you could watch it as if you're watching a movie, but it's not you. You're not attached to it. No, you can see what's happening, but it is not affecting it because your shield of divine crystalline energy is protecting you from that emotional fear. We need you to be spiritual warriors, and to do that you have to conquer fear first, because if you do not do that you cannot be a warrior for the light. You cannot allow the fear to affect you. So that is my message for you today. I want you to ponder it and think about it. And think about how you want to deal with not absorbing the fear, the intrigue, the everything that's involved with what's happening in the world that's not in a positive light. Know that in a short period of time, the cavalry's coming. By the Calvary, I mean you are going to be assisted by beings from outside of this world. They are going to come to help to assist the people who are light workers. It is something that has been planned for a long time because the turbulence is going to be very much like rough seas with very high waves, and you are going to need the assistance to do that, to go through these waves and to get through it successfully. The beings from the other dimensions will be helping you and assisting you to get through this because they understand of the tug of war between the good and the bad, the light workers and the dark workers, and they are here to help balance things out. They understand the nature of what's going to happen is fear producing, and they are here to help the side of the light be stronger. But I am asking you to be strong by not allowing yourself to get caught up in that wave of negativity. You can know what's going on, but don't let that cause fear within you. And if it does, sit down with the consciousness gathering recording and listen to it and anchor into the light through that recording. It will help you dispel the fear that you have at the time. It will not let the fear be anchored within you because that's important. You can release it. Just like sometimes thoughts come into your mind and you realize there are negative thoughts and you release it and you don't focus on it, you don't become absorbed in it. Negative thoughts flow through your mind, you reject them and send them back out. Fear from what's happening comes in and you can send it right out. And that is what I'm asking you to do, to become strong enough and wise enough to know how to do that, because that will assist you greatly in the days to come. Do you understand? We're now ready for your questions.
Thank you, Carl and friends, for being here, and thank you for that advice. Our first question is from Susan. Is Jim Carrey still alive, or was he taken out by the dark side because he knew too much? Also, when Joe Biden was president, did Jim Carrey play the part of Biden as well as other actors? Thank you.
When it comes to your former president, he was in a mental condition where he was not in much control at all. And he had to go along with what his advisors wanted him to do. So there were times where there was a actor, if you want to use that term, a substitute person to make public appearances. So it appeared that the president was talking, but it really was not him. That is the case. And that did happen. As far as the other individual that you are noticing the discrepancy about, he is very much alive, but there are also people who want to impersonate him. And therefore, you're noticing that sometimes he looks a bit different than he did in the past. And that is because there are people who are impersonating him. There is also people who are guarding him. so that he cannot come out and speak out and tell the world that there are impersonators of him. This is one of the methods that the dark forces are employing to try to achieve their goals. Yes, it will work to a point. But as you know, in the end, the dark forces will not win. And all this and much more will come to the surface. Do you understand?
Thank you. The next question is from Laura. Will our financial system's currency be changing to digital? If so, will the new system be Ripple, which is XRP? When will it go up and will it be valuable? Some are saying XRP is sent from a divine energy. Is this true? Thank you.
Your currency will go under a change. They are plotting to bring a financial collapse where they will change the currency. It is very much like a storm at sea with the waves going up and down and up and down, and sometimes various waves are very high and sometimes they're not so high. They will try to create a digital currency. We advise the best thing to do is to have wealth outside of the currency systems. And by doing that, you are holding coins made of silver or gold. The silver and gold, think of it as being on a ship. So when you're in these waves that are going up and down, they're going to get through that storm. And it matters not what's going to happen with the digital currency. They will always hold value no matter what happens. So we would advise to get gold coins, and if you can't afford that, get silver coins because the price difference is tremendous at this time, and hold on to that through all the financial storms that are coming. Now, with that being said, you cannot eat gold coins. So you need to have a certain amount of your finances in currency to buy your food and your water and your necessities. But your excess wealth that years ago was placed in a savings account in a bank is much better off being in gold coins hidden in your apartment or your house somewhere or buried on your land, hidden somewhere where it will be safe. For that will never lose its value. The money in the bank definitely will at some point. In stocks and bonds, it's the same thing. They're all going to crash. Gold and silver may have dips in their prices. That means it's a good time to buy it, for it will always hold value. So we would suggest that that is the route to go. Physical gold, physical silver, coins in your hand, not in a vault in a bank someplace, in your hand. Now, not literally, because you can't walk around with coins in your hands and not feel that you're safe from being robbed. Hide it someplace that you feel is safe, that no one knows about, And don't tell anybody that what you're doing. You need to keep it secret in order to protect it. That is our advice to you. Do you understand?
Thank you, Carl. And it looks like that is our last question.
Well, my friends, I cannot stress enough to you how important it is to keep your calm through the days to come, because there will be horrific things happening, not only with groups of people fighting each other, but with Mother Earth purging all the damages done to her, and all the earth changes that are happening will also cause mass stress to many people. Many weather conditions, many fires are coming. There is much chaos coming into your world soon. This is something that cannot be avoided. The man Jesus predicted it 2,000 years ago. He talked about it. Other prophets like Nostradamus and Edgar Cayce also talked about it. So this is not something that can be avoided. It is part of the transition into the age of knowledge. That transition was never going to be smooth. It was always going to be rough waters, and it will be. So, this is part of the reason I'm encouraging you to learn to keep and protect your emotional state, because your biggest enemy is not necessarily someone standing over you with a gun. It is a fear that consumes you. Because when you are in a state of fear, your logic doesn't really always work well. And your divine energy just cannot penetrate through that. So it is important to, with all your might, with all your concentration, and with everything you have, learn how to dispel fear and not allow yourself to jump onto that bandwagon, because it's very easy to do. It is what the dark forces are expecting you to do, because they have the upper hand, because you cannot work in the light if you are in fear. And so that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to create situations to create the fear above and beyond the natural things that will happen to create the fear. So again, I am stressing to you to learn how to manage it, to learn how to listen to the news and not let fear be absorbed into it from what you are listening to and what you are witnessing on your television. To be able to do that. And when you feel yourself slipping into that fear condition, sit down with the consciousness gathering recording and blend into your divine crystalline energy, claim it again, feel it again, energize yourself with it again, and then proceed in your life with the next step of what you need to do. It is a very important thing for you to be able to master at this time. Also, always remember, I am only a thought away. So if you need me for advice at any time, send out the thought, but then sit and quiet your mind so that I can give you a response. because if your mind is active and you keep thinking and you're on this hamster wheel of thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, well, I can't get through to them. I need you to calm yourself, to center yourself, to open your mind, be in a receptive mode, excuse me, and allow the thoughts to pop into your head. The medium who's speaking to you was talking to one of you that he was driving to New Jersey yesterday, and he was busy driving, and all of a sudden we were able to pop a thought into his mind about a project he's working on. It was short, it was quick, and he understood immediately what it was and said, "Oh, that's a good idea. I wouldn't have thought of that." That's the kind of communication we're talking about, that we can just pop thoughts into your mind to tell you what to do. And it's not necessarily going to be a 3-minute lecture on what to do. It might just be an image. It might just be a quick 10-second something or other to tell and you will know exactly what it is and what to do with it. Remember that it's also something that you have access to. So don't be afraid to employ that as well. With that, my friends, I am going to withdraw, for that has been my main message for you today. Know that I'm always walking with you, and I'm always there to guide you whenever you ask for it. I love you all very much. You are living in very scary times, but it's also very inspiring because it is the birth pangs, as Jesus called it, into a new age, into a new way of being. And your lives will be so very different once you arrive there. So be strong, my friends. Learn to manage your fear. Learn to manage your emotions. And you will be amazed at how you will be able to go through the challenges of the days to come. I love you so much. So be it.
Thank you, Carl, so much. We love you.